Well, joining us now in the studio, Max Mosley. Max Mosley, this is the problem. There is a tension between freedom of speech and privacy. And today, the judges in Europe backed freedom of speech.
Well, I don't think it's quite like that because, yes, there is a tension, and that's exactly what the judge has to weigh up. But all the case today in Europe was about was whether they tell you beforehand if they're going to publish something. Because most of the cases we hear about, all these injunctions, the people know beforehand. But there's a very small minority of cases where they ambush you, and where the first you know about the story is you open the paper. That's where there's no remedy, and that's the gap in the law we were trying to put right.
Well, of course, Vince Cable would tell you today he's had a remedy. He's been able to go to the self-regulating Press Complaints Commission and get redress. He's got the Telegraph nailed for, setting up a sting to listen to him talking to his constituents.
Yeah, but meanwhile, he's lost his job. And the thing is that what happens is, with privacy, as opposed to some political issue like Vince Cable, once they've revealed the private information, no power on earth can make it private again. So there is a very strong case, if you want an effective defense of privacy, to stop the private information being published.
Your difficulty surely is that some backroom lad at some tabloid that is aware of this story going the rounds can tweet it. And what redress do you have then?
Well, that's happened recently. We've seen this. In fact, I think exactly what you've just described. I think somebody working for one of the newspapers has set up one of these sites. I don't think that matters. I think this has gone on always, since time immemorial, in the pub. Pubs all over the country.
Well, hang on, more people now read Twitter than read the News of the World.
Well, they may read Twitter, but they won't read the tweet. And the point is that people know it's gossip, and you get nutters and all sorts of strange people, and everybody tweets. It would have no more effect than if you took a national newspaper and allowed anyone who wanted to write pieces in it, and it all becomes nonsense.
Don't you think there's an element of nutters about News of the World? I mean, in the sense that does everybody actually believe, that somebody ate his hamster and all that stuff?
Well, one shouldn't. But of course, what they do, it's not so much that they publish things that are untrue, though they do that from time to time. It's they use criminal methods and they resort to crime in order to get their stories, and that's what's objectionable.
But you worked in a sport which was absolutely dependent on building up great motor racing stars, and part of this, of course, was to sell them as great characters and have them appear in OK Magazine with their new bride or their new home or their new car. Can you really complain when somebody says, well, hang on a minute, actually he's sleeping with X or Y?
Well, I must say I don't see any difficulty with that. I think, first of all, I think this story that people watch a great sportsman because he's an outstanding family man, I think it's complete nonsense. I think people want to go and see Wayne Rooney play football.
Well, it's not that they want to watch him because he's a great family man, it's because he's appeared in a magazine suggesting he is a great family man.
Well, then
hypocrisy kicks in.
Well, if he's done that, then there is a case for saying, well, this person is not what he appears to be. But the real reason for sportsmen being interesting is they're good at their sport. Nobody wants to see me play football.
Max Mosley, on that note, thank you very much.